Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a guide to intact demon eyes, how to get them, and what you can get with them. The short version of this is you get yourself the Agent of the All-Seer buff, kill a bunch of demons in the Antoran Waste to collect their eyes, and then use those eyes to buy some stuff. Step 1 is getting your buff. You need the Agent of the All-Seer's buff in order to collect the intact demon eyes, so we're going to need to go find one of those. If you are doing this for the very first time, you're going to need to find an All-Seer's focus somewhere in the Antoran Waste. These are not a permanent spawn, so you might have to hunt around for it a little bit. They like to spawn in caves and in buildings. I found mine on the upper floor of the Spirit Crucible, but I've heard that they can also be found in a variety of caves and cave-like areas around the Antoran Waste. It looks like this, so one of these big armored eyes, and it's going to be floating over a green brazier, and this thing is pretty big. You could probably fit like at least 3 of my gnome in there, so it's not a tiny little thing that you're gonna miss. If you're looking for it and it's up, you're going to find it. So once you've found one, before you go clicking on it, make sure that you are at full health. When you click on this, you are going to get the buff, and it is going to deal 90% of your health pool to you in damage. If you have any less than 90% of your health, you're gonna die. You lose the buff when you die, so at that point you're just having a bad day. So you find an eye, make sure that you're topped up, click on it, top yourself up again, and you now have 1 merry hour to go off killing demons and collecting their intact demon eyes. Before you get too excited, there are a couple things that you should know about the Agent of the All-Seer buff. First up, it is going to make you take 100% increased damage. Which hurts. It hurts. If you are chain pulling a lot of things, they're all hitting you at once. You get like 30 imps and they all throw like a dot on you. You're fighting a rare mob and you don't get out of his cone attack. Everything is going to hurt and everything becomes dangerous. And as I mentioned before, if you die, you lose the buff. You want to be very careful and do your very best to not die. Additionally, you are going to be hostile to your friendly local neighborhood Army of the Light NPCs, which means you cannot go through their camps and you cannot go back to the Vindicar, at least not without clicking off your buff. So with that in mind, make sure that you've got preferably the full hour to actually farm the demon eyes when you go do this, because it's not exactly a leave and then come back kind of thing. So you've got your buff, you've accepted the terms and conditions, and you're ready to farm some demons. A couple of quick tips for you. First up, I would say make friends with your Light's Judgment Vindicar Matrix core power. So that extra ability that they gave you, if you haven't seen it in a while, check your general spellbook. It is called Light's Judgment. It is on a 2-minute cooldown, and it will deal about 4 million damage to each thing inside that big circle after a couple of seconds. This is very, very useful when AoE pulling demons to farm for their eyes, and has saved my butt more than once. Even if you're not doing the eye farm, just make sure that you put that in a place that you can use it, because it's just really handy to have when you're out there doing your world quests on Argus. Tip number 2 would be don't forget to use a shoulder boon. As you're killing mobs, you're going to be picking up those extra bags of whatever it is that you've decided to collect, assuming that you do have a shoulder boon enchanted onto your shoulders. If you've upgraded your gear recently, and chances are that you have, it's very easy to forget to get a new one, so just check your shoulders, make sure that you're using a shoulder boon so that you're not missing out on extra like pet goodies. Or, you know, Bloods of Sargeras, or whatever unfun thing that you want to collect. But just double check that. I found it handy to use some fighter chow, so after I'd gotten beaten up by some demons, it helped me recover in between pulls without having to stop and eat or heal or use a health potion. Fighter chow makes it really easy to recover after a tough pull. Or if you're like super good and you're not worried about your health pull at all, Bear Tartar will help you move between attacks more quickly to help you farm more demons within the hour that you have your buff up. If you happen to have a Pride Az, I strongly recommend that you just wear it. Just trust me, it is so good. And I would also recommend doing this in a group. If you can use the group finder to find a couple of other people that are also farming intact demon eyes, it makes it really easy to safely pull huge areas, collect them really quickly, and having friends there means that somebody's got your back, maybe with like a heal or an AoE stun, or just a kindred soul to commiserate in the grindiness of the grind that you've chosen to do. Whatever floats your boat. As far as farming spots, I haven't like 100% nailed down the very best farming spots yet, but I did have pretty good luck in 2 places in particular. One of them is this area with those scavenging fiends, just to the west of the Spirit Crucible. And then the other one was just kind of a little bit southeast, this big field right by the raid entrance. I found had an awful lot of demons, and that one also was a decent spot for getting the eyes. There may be other spots that have incredible respawn rates, but if they have too incredible of respawn rates, they're probably going to get nerfed. So in my opinion, it's best just to find some good stable places that you can kind of cycle through and just get out there and grind it out. So now that you've got some eyes, or you've considered getting some eyes in the future, depending on what you can get for them, what can you get for them? First step is going to be finding the vendor. His name is Orix the All-Seer, and he lives in a cave right here. So it's actually under the bridge. You can just jump right off the bridge, try not to chill in the lava for too long, and you'll find him that way. And he is pretty easy to find, honestly, because he does have a quest exclamation point over him, so you're not going to be hunting for the cave. If you don't see the quest mark there, then you're not in the right spot. When you talk to him, you're going to see he has this huge list of quests, so I'm going to go through them one by one and tell you what exactly they get you. So the first quest on the list for Intact Demon Eyes is going to ask you for 25 Demon Eyes, and in return he's going to give you 5 All-Seer's Drafts, which are basically a consumable that you can use to give yourself the buff without having to go and find one of those focus eye things. That is very nice because those eyes are really annoying to find, so as long as you can get at least 25 eyes in your first go-round, you're gonna have at least 5 re-ups for you to go back out and farm more without having to go find an eye. Second quest is called More Intact Demon Eyes. It's gonna ask you for 50 eyes, and I would skip this one if I were you. In exchange for those 50 eyes, he's gonna give you 20 Squished Demon Eyes, which begs the question of what he did with the other 30. And you know, it's a consumable item and it says throw me. If you really want to throw some Squished Demon Eyes, go for it, but I'm not gonna understand. Next, you can do the Many More Intact Demon Eyes. This is going to ask you for 200 eyes. That will get you the Gift of the All-Seer. So this is basically like the All-Seer's Draft, except that this is not consumed. It is one item, it is not consumed on use, and it will give you the buff whenever you want it on a fairly short cooldown. And that is in exchange for 200 eyes. Next up, the Yet More Intact Demon Eyes quest is going to ask you for 500 eyes, and that is going to give you the Observer's Locus Resonator, which will create a portal for you and anybody in your party to the Observer's Locus. That is the spawn point of Orix the Seer. Presumably, as long as we don't have flying, that is the only way to get to that place in that rare, and that rare mob has a chance to drop the Sightless Eye toy. So if you're a toy collector, the Observer's Locus Resonator might be a good pick, or if you know a bunch of toy collectors, you could get like a little clique together. One of you farms the Locus Resonator, the rest of you promise to love that person forever, and then the 5 of you just kind of get together and go on a daily expedition to go kill Orix the Seer and go farm your Sightless Eyes together. I think that sounds kind of fun. You guys could have like a club name. The A Pile of Intact Demon Eyes quest asks for 1,000 Intact Demon Eyes, and that is in exchange for the Crossgazer Battle Pet. So Crossgazer is a magic pet. He looks like a little shrunken down version of the Warlock pet. His moveset is interesting, but his speed stat is 260, which is not fast enough to make any of this stuff work. So if you're a hardcore pet battler, the only reason you're gonna really need this is if you are trying to 100% your collection. Otherwise, he's more just for like eyeball enthusiasts. Crossgazer is not cageable, so if you do want one, you are going to have to go farm him yourself. Last, the Another Pile of Intact Demon Eyes quest will also take 1,000 eyes, and that will give you the All-Seer's Eye toy. That is basically a mind vision for non-priests. That allows you to see through the target's eyes and offer them insights for 1 minute, which I'm curious to see what offer them insights means. It sounds hilarious, but I haven't seen anybody actually with the toy yet, so I'm not 100% sure on what that means. Because it only has a 1 minute duration and a 30-minute cooldown, it's not quite as free as actual mind vision is, but if that's really important to you, you should probably just be a priest. So that is the deal with Intact Demon Eyes. I'm really curious to know how many of you are actually planning on farming the Demon Eyes, and if so, what thing are you farming them for? I'm kind of curious to find out sort of what's really selling this grind to people. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider leaving a like if you liked it, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!